Welcome to the Home Team Sacramento podcast. I'm Josh Takimoto, and today is a little bit of a different episode. I'm gonna be honest with you. It's not, our normal solo episode. Obviously, there's no guest here tonight. It's just me, and I just wanted to share something that I've been thinking about a little bit, and I think it still applies. It definitely applies to sports and athletes and coaches, but I think it also applies more specifically to what we're trying to accomplish here with home team Sacramento. But it's really this idea of asking for help. It's asking for help. So many times as athletes and coaches and people who are competitive, people who want to perform at a really high level, sometimes we find it difficult to ask for help, to ask for assistance, to ask someone to come in and assist us where we may be weak, right? We have too much pride sometimes. I know I can say that for myself. There's been times where I am resistant to asking for help because I feel like that competitive side of me keeps kind of telling my brain, no, you can figure it out. You can figure it out. Just keep pushing forward, keep pushing forward. Eventually you'll get it. And the bottom line is everybody needs help sometimes. Everybody needs help again, identifying weaknesses in their game. Everybody needs help maybe identifying weaknesses in their character, in who they are as a person, things that they may not see because they're just in the middle of the everyday grind and they're constantly trying to move forward and trying to accomplish the task or the goal for the day. And they might have blind spots that someone can come along and help us be accountable to. They can hold us accountable if we're willing to listen, and they can help us fix or adjust or change or improve specific areas of what we're doing or of how we act or how we behave or how we compete. And so, yeah, it's something that I think a lot of athletes and a lot of, like, again, people that are competitors have a tough time with because, we hear these motivational messages all the time. And you've heard coaches and athletes come on this podcast and share this idea about grinding, grinding, grinding. When I forgot who it was, but I think maybe it was Blair, or he was talking about how if you really think about, like, the definition of grinding is not really a great thing. It's not really what you would like to do. It's something that is probably over time detrimental because it's going to grind down something that is eventually just going to be less effective. And so, it sounds cool. It sounds like a dope thing to say when you hear these motivational messages on YouTube and TikTok and Instagram reels and all of this. It sounds cool to hear grind, 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 but there is a negative side to that as well. And one of those things is that we have this mentality of grinding and we just refuse to ask for help when we could really use some assistance, some guidance, some different viewpoint that would be beneficial to making us better. And so, along those same lines, I've been thinking about home team and the podcast and everything that we've been trying to kind of build up here. I know in the past we've talked about, doing different things in the future, maybe an event here or there. Uh, I would love to do some apparel, t-shirts for home team. Obviously, I love podcasting. Podcasting for me will always be the foundation of what I do, especially for something like this, because I believe it's consistent content that we can do all throughout the year. And honestly, it's something that, I've talked with people about when, if you're familiar with Character Combine, and what we did there was always this annual event that happened every single year. And it was amazing, incredible speakers, incredible turnout, anywhere from 800 to 900 coaches and athletes would show up. Amazing. But it was only once a year. And then for the rest of the time throughout the year, we had other things, other initiatives that we were working on. And so there wasn't this consistent content that was being given throughout the year between events. You wouldn't really see content until, the event was in the last weekend of April. It was on the last weekend of April. You wouldn't really see consistent content, promotional stuff until January when registration opened up. And so you have like this whole chunk of the year that has no content. So like I said, my whole point of saying that is the podcasting, I believe, is such a crucial piece to what we're trying to do here and provide constant conversation, constant content, constant feedback in our athletic community here in our home team of Sacramento. I believe it's a really important part. But that being said, it can always get better. we can figure out ways to do this better. We can figure out ways to make this more effective. We can figure out ways to make this something that connects more with our home team. And so I'm here today asking you guys, like, what do you want to hear? What is it that you would like to hear us talk about? Who are some guests that you would like us to have on the show? Who are some people that you feel like would bring a lot of value to what we're doing? We want to know from you. We want to hear from you, because I believe that for this concept, for this home team Sacramento to truly work, it has to be a community driven, a community built thing. It can't just be me and Kevin talking on here every week, once a week, for 30 to 45 minutes about some sports topic. Like, it can't just be that, because I think if it ends there, then it's basically just us talking. And it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. It's not going to create a movement that I believe that this can become. The movement part of it comes from coaches, athletes, parents, teachers buying in to this idea that although we are on different teams, although we wear different uniforms, we are all a part of the same home team. If you believe that sports, athletics is meant to be used as a vehicle to make young athletes and their communities better. If you believe that, if you are of that mindset, then you're part of our home team. And so I think that's what we're trying to accomplish here. But I'm struggling a little bit. This is where I'm trying to connect these dots between asking for help and what we're doing here. Sometimes I feel like we're not maybe making the movement, making the progress that I was hoping that we maybe would have made. And I get these types of things take time. And I've always joked with people, like, I feel like I'm built for that slow progress, that slow buildup. Like, I feel like that's something that I have no problem. It's hard to, for me personally, it's hard to discourage me to the point where I quit. I'm going to be doing this for a long time. It's going to take a long time for someone to convince me that this is never going to work. Probably never going to happen. I'll be honest with you. I love this medium too much, and I love my home team of Sacramento too much. I love the coaches and athletes in this city too much. I just can't give up. I can't quit on it. And that's not even part of the plan, but I'm just saying that's something that, it's been on my mind where I'm like, okay, how do I make this the best it possibly can be? And sometimes I'll be running, I'll be working out, I'll be doing something, I'm thinking about all these things, I'll be driving, and I'm thinking, how do I make home team better? How can I improve it? What topics would be better to talk about? What can we do better with the podcast? How can we market it better? How can we promote it better? Should we use this social media platform? Should we use that one? And then I pause sometimes. I think, my whole point of this podcast, my whole point of this movement, this whole idea of home team Sacramento is the home team. It's you guys, the coaches, the athletes, the parents, the teachers who make up our home team. And so I thought, how crazy is it of me to, or maybe even prideful of me to just think, okay, what does our home team need? What topic should I talk about? What guests would be best for our home team? When I could talk to you guys, I could bring it to you guys and say, hey, what do you guys want to hear from us? Now, again, I'm not a genie. I can't make everything happen. So some people are like, hey, go get David Goggins. Probably not going to happen. Hey, go get this athlete or this coach. I'm not a magician. I can't just go out and get these guests. But if you know some people, local coaches, local athletes that have amazing things to say, I would love to hear from them. And we would love to consider having them on our podcast. Again, we have a little bit of a process for who we have on the show and what they do and how well we know them and how well we know what they do. There's a bit of a process, so I can't just guarantee that we'll get everybody on the show. But that being said, I would love to get the feedback from you guys as the audience, as the people who are doing the work in our home team of Sacramento. Like, I would love to get your feedback. I would also love to hear, what would you like to see from home team? And if you're familiar with Character Combine, what did you like about Combine? What did you dislike about it? What would you have liked to have seen improved? What would you like to see continue on from that? Because that's why we started this in the first place, is we felt like, I'd be at the gym or I'd be at the store and I would see a coach that I knew or an athlete, and they would ask me, hey, what's the deal with Character Combine? When's it coming back? Kevin, same thing. He's on all these campuses throughout the week, doing motivational messages and each one reach one groups. And he's talking to coaches that came to the Combine and they're asking the same thing. And so we came together and said, hey, there seems to be this void that Combine left for this athletic community. how can we uh, jump in there and provide this message, provide this platform to coaches and athletes who are in this athletic community. And so that's when we came up with Home Team. But again, it's something that needs to be community driven. And so I'm putting this out there right now. I want to hear from you guys. I want to know what your guys' ideas are. I want to know what you would like to see. I would know what you would like to hear about, what topics, even for this podcast, what topics would you guys like us to talk about? I've said this before. Sometimes I've struggled thinking, okay, what do I bring to the table? I'm not an athlete who competed at a high level, didn't play D1 sports, didn't play college sports at all, played in high school. A couple of years, didn't even really play that much. I was on the bench a lot. I haven't gone through I don't have a crazy story where I went through crazy hardship and I had to persevere through crazy things. And now I can share that story with athletes and help them understand how to work hard and how to persevere and overcome obstacles. Like I don't have that story either. And so there's times where I'm like, what do I have to bring or to offer to this Home Team? Like, what is it? And what I've always come back to is, I believe it's this right here. It's this podcast. And it's not sitting here saying I have all this knowledge and I can share with you guys this insight and this wisdom. It's going to change your life. No, it's more, I've always felt like I'm a conversation starter here. I can throw out an idea that hopefully you guys take. And you can have conversations with your athletes or conversations with your assistant coaches or, your athletes' families. I almost like I'm a point guard here in this podcast where I can, pass the ball to the open player. They can shoot, they can score, but I'm here to assist. I'm here to keep a conversation going. I'm here to start a conversation. I'm here to start a play. And hopefully, because of that, it creates opportunities for others to do what they're best at. It creates opportunities to have conversations about things that will hopefully build up our home team. And that's what I've always felt about my role here is with this home team. It's like I can, bring people on the show, have conversations, bring questions to the table that people might find interesting. And hopefully from that, lives are changed. Hopefully from that, people are built up and can take little nuggets here and there that will, help them become the best home team athlete, home team coach they can possibly be. So, again, all that to say, not really a normal podcast today, but like I said, we just want to hear from you guys. What would you guys like to see from Home Team? We're open to any suggestion. Like I said, not that we can take every suggestion or that we can make everything you guys suggest happen, but I'm open to anything that you guys have to share. I would love to hear it. And some of that, and if you have feedback for this podcast, I would love to hear that too. What you love, what you don't love, what you hate, what you would like to hear in the future, like all that stuff I'm open to. So, that being said, please let us know. Please share this with your friends and family, help other coaches to become more aware of what we're doing here. And let's work together. Let's build this thing together and let's figure out how we can improve our home team, how we can use athletics to become the best versions of ourselves, and how we can create a better future for athletes who come through this home team and who come through our hometown of Sacramento. How can we use this vehicle of sports as a way to make them the best possible versions of themselves and also help them create a better future? So thank you guys so much. As always, we appreciate it. I look forward to hearing from all of you. Reach out to us on social media, all of the different platforms. Like, just let us know. Let's talk. Let's figure this thing out and let's figure out how we can make Home Team the best it can possibly be. Thank you.